Hi, my loves. Good morning. This is my very first Ashmere soothing. Sorry. Hi, Allie. How are you doing? This is my very first Ashmere soothing nail and tap brush. I've never done this before, and I thought today would be this morning would be a good day to do this. So I won't be saying anything. This is a very quiet, very soothing Ashmere. So just sit back and relax. And I am not going to say anything the whole time until the end of this video. This is an Ashmere soothing, relaxing video this morning to get your morning started. And I hope I do good on this one because I've never done this before. So I'm going to take my brush. I have my brushes. Give me a minute. I'm nervous. So what I'm going to do is sprinkle my hand with my scent that I love. I'm not going to say anything. This is the Ashmere, so I will talk at the end of the video, everybody. So I'm doing my hands. Okay. I'm going to take you down to the board. And with the Ashmere, and this is an Ashmere tap, so it's very soothing, everybody. So I'm not going to talk. Let's do this. And then I'll talk afterwards. So let me gauge everything. And let's get this started. I'm nervous. I'm going to scent the board. Okay. Angle the cameras. I'm sorry if all the cameras are not angled properly. I'm trying. Okay. I'm going to start out with this beautiful stroke. And this is Good Morning Ashmere. It's very soothing. This is my first Ashmere, so I'm sorry if I'm not talking. I'm really kind of nervous because it's relaxing. And let's see how this goes this morning. Now I'm going to take the big head and I am going to work this through the board, okay? And I'm going to massage this to rough this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, that's how the Ashmere works. And I have this. Let me take you down to the board. Good morning, everyone. I hope you enjoy this. There's hardly no talking on here because this is very soothing. You know how Ashmere is, right? So I'll say hi to everybody as this video ends. And I'm just going to go like this and just run my hands through the paint and get it all over the board, everyone. This is what Ashmere does, right? Does anybody know how Ashmere videos work? It's very soothing and tapping. So I'm doing this live Ashmere. No words needed. And I'll be making this painting for Ashmere, everyone. For the soothing Ashmere. I'm sorry. I know I have to gauge some of the cameras. And as a matter of fact, this just came off here. This is my first video making Ashmere. And I'm on all 3 socials doing this. I'm going to have to sit this one down. Well, because look. I hope you enjoy this Ashmere painting. It's very, very, very different, very soothing. If you ever watched an Ashmere video. And I'm going to also tap some more colors into this. I'm going to tap more colors into this. And I'm on all 3 socials, so bear with me as I'm doing this Ashmere piece of art this morning. This is the first time I've ever done Ashmere art. Especially in the morning, everybody. Right? I had to get situated for this. It takes time, right? And so I don't know how this is going to turn out. So far, this Ashmere painting is looking very, very sexy. And I'm going to take it down. And I'm going to add a little bit of gray, okay, into my Ashmere. And I'm just going to just go like that. Now, let me adjust the cameras, everyone. I'm sorry. I have to adjust 2 cameras here, please. And hope and pray they don't fall, right? So far, we got this. And I'm not done yet because this is an Ashmere relaxing morning video. So this is the beautiful piece of Ashmere art this morning. But I think I'm going to go in it with this. I'm going to go in with this brush here. And this brush gives a nice flare to the painting. It's really nice. I love how this flares out the art. It really does a good job. It really, there we go. And this is Ashmere art for all of you that are just tuning in. It's very soothing. And so I'm just going to jig this around a little bit and see where this art takes us this morning. And so I put some of this gray in. And I'm just going to tap it down through and back up again. And this is just the Ashmere, so I don't care how this painting looks. Okay. And I'm going to take this red and I'm going to kind of just like angle this down and hold it and spot it. And I'm trying to do this while I'm showing all of you the Ashmere. Okay. And I'm going to go back in with some white and just kind of flare it out. And then I'm going to take my fingers and I'm just going to run it through this paint to see what we're going to get. Okay? So this is all a part of the Ashmere. And I'm just going to tap it with my fingers, everyone. I'm going to tap the art with my fingers and see where this goes. And then I'm going to go back in with my brush. Okay? So we're going to really make a mess here. And then I'm going to go back in, everyone, with this brush. Okay? And I'm going to tap some black through, because when I tap the black through, everybody, you're going to see it on the board. So watch this. So I don't know how this is going to look. This is just Ashmere this morning. And then I'm going to tap some of this white back in. And I'll probably take my fingers back up through it again. Now I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to tap this art. And I'm going to really make this a wild art, right? Because with Ashmere, anything goes with this art. So I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of just mess up this paint. You can see it all over my hands. There you go. Just like I said, this is my first Ashmere. And I'm going to take this red that's on my hands. And I'm going to kind of work it in and work this down through the piece of art. Just like I said, this is my very first Ashmere this morning, and it's supposed to be soothing. I don't know if it is. And right now, I've got a... Okay. Now I'm going to hold it up a little bit so everybody can see what I'm doing, because it's not going to run because like I'm just scrambling it all over the place. Okay. I'm just taking the art and I'm just taking it around with my fingers. All right. Now I'm going to go in with this brush. And after I got my hands done, everybody, I'm going to take this and go like that, okay? Because this is Ashmere, everyone. And I'm just going to go like this. And it doesn't matter because I'll take my fingers back through it again. So it doesn't matter what kind of painting we're going to be doing. It doesn't matter. It's just about the relaxation of the art, right? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to get my fingers wet. And I'm just going to tap in and tap down and all around. Hi, Deb. This is Ashmere art, everybody, this morning. So I'm just going to take it down and around. And I'm going to roll it out, everyone, so that way you can see it. I'm going to roll it out. This is Ashmere art for all of you that are just joining. Hi, Deb. I'll wave to you once I'm done. I'll talk to all of you. So now I'm going to come in, everyone, and I'm just going to go like this again. And I have this on my fingers, and I'm just going to go up and over and down. And I'm just going to take this paint and I'm going to just do something different with it, right? It's like a love story, but it's a piece of art. Okay. And then I'm going to take the next color in. One moment. I'm going to take the next color back in again. And I'm dipping my hands in the black and I'm just running it around my hands. And I'm just going to go in these circular motions the whole ways around the board. And then I'm going to even use some of my nail. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in with one of the tap tools. And I'm going to go back in again with the red, with the tap tool. And let's see what we can create. No particular style. This is Ashmere. So I'm just going to go back in and make a gnarly mess. And then I'm going to jigger knot it down. Because that makes like a really, really cool situation, right? And then I'm just going to go back up again. And then I'm going to go down the board and I'm going to go up the board and over and down the sides. Okay. And then I'm just going to tap a little bit right in here and try to see what we can create. Because we already made this big mess. And I'm going to go back in, everyone, with another brush. And I'm going to go back in with this brush, and I'm just going to get my hands really messy in the paint. And I'm going to do the tap and bounce, everybody. The tap and bounce. And I'm wondering what kind of picture we're going to come up with this by the time this is over. So I'm going to just go back in with it like this. Tapping it out. Don't forget to hit that like and that subscribe. Thank you. Okay. And then I'm going to take my fingers again because they're nice and wet. And I'm just going to tap this art. I'm going to tap it, everybody. Because you know how I'm the tap queen, right? So I'm going to tap this piece of art. Okay. And now it's looking kind of different. I don't know if it's a masterpiece or a mess up, whatever. But it's meant to be soothing. So now I'm going to go back in. And I'm just going to go up and over and down. And I'm even going to put some of my fingernails into it. And try to scratch the board up. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with this tap tool and tap it up. It's incredible how you can do art. Like, I've never done this Ashmere art, but this is really fun. It's like playing in like, right? It's like playing in Play-Doh, but only you're playing with actual paint and art. And then I'm going to scrape it down, and then I'm going to go up. And then I'm going to go back down again. And then I'm going to scrape it up, and then back down again. And then I'm going to do a swirl. So the picture changes each time, right? So now I'm going to go back in with a little bit more black. I'm going to go back in. Tap it up, tap it down. And then I'm going to go back in with my fingers. And tap this around. Okay. This board's getting worked. This board is getting worked. And then I'm just going to take my hands and just kind of float it around, everyone. And boy, this is going to be a masterpiece. So we see this Ashmere, right? I'm going to go back in and kind of just circle back around again, because I want to see what's going on. I think I have a face. And I'm going to circle up and then back down again, everyone. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with me. And then I'm going to go like this and make these kind of squigglies. Because this is Ashmere, everybody, after all. Okay. So now with the second board, everyone, because there's just another board, that's all. Oops, sorry. There we go. And then I'll wave to Deb. Now, with the second thing we're going to do is, I'm not going to do a board. I'm actually going to do an album like this, everyone. I'm going to do an album in this Ashmere, okay? So just bear with me, everyone. I'm just, it's my first time. So as I go, I'm going to go around and do this Ashmere. I think it's best for me probably just to hold it, right? Because if I get paint on me, it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to go around because this is, very soothing. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this paint and I'm going to tap it down and I'm going to use my hands to do this, okay? So I'm going to use my hands to do this Ashmere. And I'm going to go up and down. And then I'm going to take it and just move it back and forth. And see what kind of piece of art I can get out of this with my hands. Because an artist and they're moving their hands around their canvas makes the best piece of art, right? And then I'm going to go in with the signature red. And I'm just going to tap it up and down. And right away, I actually can see a face, right? Right here, actually. Isn't that crazy how I made a face with my fingers? This is going to be a cool one. This is going to be really intense to end this Ajmer session. So I'm going to tap it down and tap it up because I want to preserve this person because this is my very first Ajmer setup. Going to preserve it. So this one is so cool. I think I'm going to just let this like this and move on to another one really quick that I can really ram up, right? I want to really ram the next one up. I love how that turned out. So this is the last one for today until tonight. Well, this is the last one for today, everyone. And then I normally go live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time to do my live intuitive tap art. But this is something different that I'm just trying today and see how it works. So here we go. I'm going to take this brush. And this is my makeup brush, actually. And I'm just going to tap around this album until I get my fingers in it, right? And then I'm just going to go all over because it has the excess of what is on here from the other paint. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to tap it again with the red, since all of you like the red, and see what kind of coolness that we can get. I'm going to run around the board of the album, everyone. And I'm going to make these circular motions. And I'm going to tap and see what we come up with. But I'm going to dip my hands in this black to really get this party started. And I'm going to just vibrate it out. And then I'm going to take it like this. And then I'm just going to go around. And then I'm going to go around the edges of the album. Because with music, it never dies. And then I'm just going to take these little circular motions the whole ways around the album. It's my intuition guiding it, everyone. Remember this. It's my intuition guiding this around. And then I'm going to take a little bit more white and I'm just going to go around. And then I'm going to tap some white in. And I'm going to take it down. And then I'm just going to kind of go around the board like this. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this gray that I have on my hands and just go like this. We're going up and down and out into this board, everyone. And we are going out over. And we're just making the tracks in the galaxy at this point in time. And we're crossing around this album. And then we're going to come back up again. And it's like, you know, an artist. Who's doing our board. And then I got some of this gray that I'm just going to go like this around the album. Albums never die. And then I'm going to take this, everybody, and I'm going to flail some of this in like this and see what we can come up with. And then I'm going to go back in again and tap with this. Doesn't seem like we're getting anywhere, right? And then I'm going to come up and back down again. And then after that, I noticed that I got to put my hands up in this again. So what better way? And I'm going to tap. And look at this. There is art on this album, believe it or not. But I'm going to come in and I'm going to start going like this. And moving my nails around this album, right? because we're going to jack this art up to make it look good again. So I'm going to take it around and I'm going to roll this around. And then I'm going to come down and up and over. And then I'm going to hit the sides, everyone, with this. I'm going to take this to the sides again and find out what we can come up with. And back down again, right? And then I'm going to take it back up again and tap it with my hands. It's like playing an instrument, right? When you're an artist, but you're only playing your board, right? And I'm going to take the black in with that. And I'm just going to just kind of like float it in here to see if we can get a good piece of art. Okay. Right now it probably looks like a mess, but it'll come up with something. And then I'm going to take the tap tool and I'm going to see what we come up with. And I'm going to get back down. Okay. And then I'm just going to cross around the board, the album. And then I'm going to come up. And then I'm going to come back down. And then I'm going to come back up again and swing it back around the album, everyone. And then I'm just going to go off to the side and down. And make these really cool tracks, right? And then I'm going to take this brush, okay? And everything's a mess. I can tell you that right now. Everything's all painted up. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to gently just tap in some red. I'm going to tap in this red as much as I can. And then I'm going to, after I tap this in, I'm actually going to take my hands and tap in the remainder because I think that's going to make this album pop, right? So I'm going to take my hands and I got the paint on it. I'm just going to splash it and tap it. And then I'm going to just kind of turn it to get the music going, everybody. And then I'm just going to take my hands and just glide it across and back again. And we're going to mess it up again. And then we're going to bring it back around to art again, everybody. So now I'm just going to twirl it. And then I'm going to tap. And then I'm going to dip in to the white paint. And now we're going to start forming the art, everyone. Look at that. Now I'm going to start forming this beautiful art piece. It's like a cosmic splash, right? And so I'm just going to take my fingers and kind of juggernaut it around the edges. I'm going to go around the edges. And then I'm going to tap. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe. And I'm going to tap around. And it's beautiful, everyone. Look at this. It's wild, right? And don't forget, everyone, to join me tomorrow for another Ashmere tap. Relaxing morning art, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'll do one tonight. I don't know. Maybe later on tonight. You have to stay tuned. You have to, when I hit the live, you never know what's going to happen. It could be another Ashmere, everyone. I'm going to put this over. I'm going to lift this up. So thank you, everybody, for watching my Ashmere. This is my very first Ashmere art video, live video that I just done. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you the next time. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye. I'll see you then.